President Biden is ignoring all the warning signs when it comes to this, and Americans will probably suffer for it. We've heard multiple warnings from foreign nations like Russia, North Korea, Iran, and many others regarding the safety of Americans here at home, primarily our infrastructure. So what's going to happen in 2024? The problem is that we're not seeing any urgency when it comes to protecting our critical infrastructure like our power grids and our water systems. Now, what's worse is that even our social security numbers seem to be at risk. And at some point, you gotta ask, why are they not protecting the American people? And it's not just government agencies and infrastructure. Hackers are also getting our information through many different sources.
Monday, Xfinity notified its customers that someone got into its internal systems by taking advantage of a vulnerability in software the company uses. They concluded those thieves got away with scores of personal information, including usernames, encrypted passwords, and even birth dates and partial social security numbers.
It's very important to have patching in place, and because any code has vulnerabilities in it.
Michael Borlaug is the CEO of Capstone IT, a Palm Beach Gardens-based company that provides IT and cybersecurity support for local businesses. He says there are several things businesses can do to protect their systems, even if they don't have an Xfinity budget.
Understanding where your data is, where your computers are, just understanding what you currently have in place is the first place to start, and that just requires time.
Other tips include implementing good policies and procedures, like a computer usage policy for employees and having an incident response plan.
If you click on something that you don't know what it was and you're like, oops, what do you do? I mean, a lot of people have no idea what they do, and as business owners, we need to tell our employees, like, you need to go call this person, you need to do this.
And for everyday people, Borlaug says, when you're notified that your information was compromised, the first response should be to take action and change all of your passwords.
Now, you might be thinking this isn't relevant to you, right? But you're going to be very surprised about what kind of passwords our government is using. And no, they're not creative at all, which leads me to ask, how do you rate our nation's cybersecurity in terms of safety? So comment the number 10 if you think that they have done an amazing job at securing our online infrastructure. And comment a 1 if you feel as if they failed at protecting our data together with the protection of our critical infrastructure. And while you guys are thinking about that, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm here 24/7, guys, working to get you guys informed on pretty much anything and everything that you need to know here at home and beyond. Appreciate that, guys. By the way, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below this video. So get it back on track here. Most of you guys that answered 10 down below, you might need to edit that, as it has recently come out that the White House has a lot of concerns when it comes to our cybersecurity. In fact, the United States National Security Council pointed to the most recent Iran-linked attack on critical U.S. infrastructure with concerns that our providers, they're doing an awful job at protecting the American people. The council also opened that there were recent intrusions from hackers linked to China's military at American infrastructure that included both water and energy. They're telling us that these attacks didn't cause any disruptions, but the fact that both Iran and China got access to our critical systems, it means bad news for all of us across the nation. To make matters even worse, some compromised devices here in our country are connected to the internet with a default password of 1111. I repeat, their password for infrastructure that could literally make or break society here in the United States is 1111. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around this mess. That's just plain old laziness. It's not even a software issue at all. It's a human issue. And the NSC says that many infrastructure facilities are opting to use passwords like this one because it creates ease of use. But you know what else it creates? Problems for tax-paying Americans. I mean, can you imagine running out of water or running out of power during the wintertime? I mean, even in the summer, right? Both scenarios would be a nightmare for most of us, which now leads me to talk about Mint Mobile, which prided itself in being a cheaper alternative when it came to the expensive mobile cellular plans, right? So Ryan Reynolds, you guys know Deadpool, that movie, right? He was the owner of the company for a little bit until it was sold to T-Mobile for $1.3 billion.
Yeah, just super excited. Yeah. When do we hug?
I think we better do it.
I think we better do it right now. Oh, God.
There you have it. T-Mobile announcing it will purchase Ryan Reynolds-backed Mint Mobile, a direct-to-consumer prepaid wireless brand. The price tag on the deal could go as high as $1.35 billion, according to a release from T-Mobile. This means Reynolds, who is a minority owner, will stand to make a nice payday, you could say, and shares of T-Mobile up marginally on the news, but this has me thinking of some other celebrity victories in the M&A space. You see it in the alcohol sector with Diageo acquiring another company Reynolds have been involved in with Aviation Gin, also with Diageo's purchase of George Clooney's Casamigos. You see it in the makeup space with companies like Coty investing in Kylie Jenner's cosmetics. Rihanna also having success in the makeup space as well and giving a flash of that at the Super Bowl. And that's, I think, really just, it's been interesting to watch how ads like that with Ryan Reynolds, that little bit of touch in the influencer space, can kind of carry companies.
It's all about the influencers. I mean, these brands all tie themselves up with influencers and their initiatives, their companies.
Yeah, and this could be a huge win here for T-Mobile, because we know organic sales growth, at least within that industry, has been slowing now for quite some time. Mint Mobile has been very, very successful. It gives T-Mobile a boost here within the prepaid space, but also gives them access to the success that Mint has really had in their DTC marketing strategy. Clearly something that T-Mobile could potentially benefit from here going forward.
Just recently, though, companies sent out notifications to customers saying that important information regarding their accounts may have been compromised. But what did these hackers get exactly? Well, they got names, telephone numbers, emails, SIM serial numbers, IMEI numbers, which are basically, it's what identifies your cellular device, your cell phone, and a brief description of your service plan. Now, while they're saying that they've resolved this breach, it's still very important to note that everything that I just mentioned, hackers can actually conduct SIM swapping attacks. Okay, you're probably asking, well, Ron, what are those, right? Well, it's when bad actors port a person's phone number over to their own device. Now, the problem with that is that some users actually use their numbers for their OTP codes or those one-time passwords. And if hackers can get access to those, you typically use that with your bank, maybe logging into Amazon or some other websites, then they can pretty much take over all of your accounts that are connected to that phone number. But Mint says that customers shouldn't worry and that they're provided with a hotline to support them. Now you got to think though, who would be liable here if somebody suddenly loses access to their bank accounts or something? Would it be Mint? Would it be JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or whichever bank you're using? Like, where would the blame fall? And since we've already discussed banks and with the Christmas season now behind us, do you have any idea as to what the most desired Christmas gift was in 2023 for Americans? Now, before I even show you what the survey said, I want you guys to think of what you wanted for Christmas. Do you have it? All right, great. So the most desired gift for Americans this past Christmas was money or cash transfers. Are you surprised by that? Right after cash, it says vouchers and gift cards, and well, those are kind of like cash as well, since you can pretty much use them to buy things as well. This is where many Americans are at right now. No matter how the White House might try to spin it, things are going south for a lot of people. A theme that's only going to get worse as we go through 2024. However, the Wall Street Journal is telling us that inflation will be normal for 2024, not just for the United States, but for the entire globe. So here's my question. Can they define normal for us? Because normal for most of us here has been high gas prices, elevated cost of living, Social Security, SSI, and SSDI benefits getting less and less than stellar increases, cybersecurity threats left and right, and still wages not keeping up with inflation. So if that's the kind of normal that they're talking about, well, then, things are probably going to be normal for 2024. But hey, what do you guys think awaits for us in the new year? Make sure you guys share your thoughts down below. And before I go, I just want to thank you guys for being here. Keep safe, and I'll see you on the next one.